Fucking finally, at least on that front. So let's able to come through on that front. Ah. Yo!
Is there someone outside again?
No. But, I've got good news.
How good news?
Someone to help with your little problem, finally.
How in the hell?
Must actually get some Energon.
You're finding everything.
I was able to... Some lad did manage to somehow get their holds on a block of unrefined, and my business partner Silas found a way to refine it.
You mind describing who you actually got this off of?
It was a similar... I don't know if they call them a cybertronian, but it is the best description. I found them in the industrial district in the nearby city Severa. More turns into a prisoner transport truck, seem to be running from their old... Didn't he look to be a part of either you or whatever you're up against?
That's
interesting. Might be a scenario of them crash landing on that planet or whatever, and then getting subjugated. And then finally finding a way out.
Could be a number of things. In any case. Gonna have to actually make an injector of sorts.
But hey, at least that might be a simpler part of the process.
Well, naturally, you just need to make something that can pierce through metal.
That's easy enough.
Well,
pierce through metal and eject, mind you.
Naturally.
No point just getting a copper rod and shoving it through you.
I don't think copper is a good idea.
Nah. Copper is a good way in use of a lance for explosive projectiles. Superheats, it turns into a lance that pierces through.
In any case, you gotta need this back if you want to make an injector.
Alrighty. Hey, I'll at least be able to...
Any luck on actually finding any, actual deposits around on this, well, frankly, almost barren rock?
Sadly, I haven't been able to, but I am trying to find angles. Asking a mate of mine to see about opening a mine shaft of some kind out in one of the desert mesas. There's a lot of good stuff that can be hidden in the mesas. With any luck, with great luck, frankly, maybe I'll find a deposit. After that, or who knows, maybe I'll just find the lucky sandworm that managed to eat a canister of it and just kill that and get the Energon from it.
Usually if something more organic and fleshy consumes Energon, they die within a few weeks.
Maybe so, but I've seen sandworms swallow buildings.
If there is one that consumes Energon, it'll probably look a little off.
Something to work with. In that case, I'll keep an eye out if the gangs say they spotted bizarre wildlife. I'm already heading out to a town tomorrow.
Say that again?
I'm already heading out to a town tomorrow. Same town I went to a while back. I'm going to try and clear the problems and look through and see if there's anything happening there. I doubt Energon will be there, but at the very least a bunch of scrap that we can make use of.
If there is, it's probably underneath the building.
True. Or somehow lodged in a long-abandoned cargo ship.
I doubt anyone who was living there was actually transporting any of it.
I mean, the town's been abandoned a while. Could have just crashed through.
And well, let's also be fair here. Not many cybertronians around.
True, true. There's you, there's Eclipse, there's that lad, there's that prisoner transport truck fellow. I know a Cybertronian became part of the Rust Bucket gang in the industrial district. I've forgotten his name. Razor. Don't know if you know him at all.
Not a name I'm familiar with. Does sound like a con, though.
True, true. Definitely had the look of one. I think last I remember spotting, he was turned into a scarab type of look.
Did the other one that turns into a prisoner transport truck give you a name at all?
If they did, I forgot it. I'll have to look through all the recordings, but I'll get back to you with it. You always tend to record damn near everything I see unless I deliberately turn it off.
The fact that you don't immediately remember if they said it or not means it's more likely that they didn't tell you a name.
Highly possible. Either that or I've taken enough concussions.
Wouldn't be surprising. Considering
my usual line of work and the fact that I took a fucking blunt round to the back of the head. It gave me a splitting migraine. Wouldn't be too surprised if I forgot a couple of things.
I'm amazed you're still standing.
Karen could take me when he fucking drags me into his ferry with his cold hands.
Oh, is that your god? Oh, weird name.
Or at least someone I know who presides over the ferry of the afterlife. Takes people from where they need to go.
Different people and their weird, different customs.
I always have a habit of giving 200 creds to people I end up killing if they don't, or at least out in the West anyway. Give them their fare for the ferryman.
200? That seems a little wasteful.
I mean, the old tale said it was like 2 coins, but we don't exactly use coins anymore, so I don't. And for all I know, with the amount of bullshit that's been happening in the metaverse, his rate's probably inflated a bit.
I would have bet that 1 coin would equal 50 credits.
Maybe. But 200 makes more sense than a 100 in my head. 2 coins, 200, what have you. People haven't been against it, mind. But hey, I'll head back to Silas and see about getting him to work on a, I guess, Energon injector. Enerjector? No.
Don't try to start combining words.
I need to stop portmanteauing.
Especially when it's an already established term in some people's places.
I just have a habit of shortening names. I'll call you lot by proper names anyway. I mean, I doubt you'd appreciate just being called Barry.
I should punch you across the room for this.
Hey, I said I wasn't gonna call you Barry. Call you Barricade, because that's your fucking name. Exactly. If people want nicknames, they'll ask for it.
Oh, well, I don't exactly want one.
Hey, fair enough. If nothing else, eventually, at least soon, you'll have energy.
Oh, and thanks to whoever put up the actual network tower, I can actually access stuff now.
Oh, yeah, that was the Gadgetron Corporation. Mainly been sponsoring me for fights I've been doing in the stadium. You were saying the pit of some kind, something similar, but much less fight for freedom, and if you die, you die.
Pits of Kaon. Gladiator pits.
That was the name. And my mind went Karnak, and I was like, no, that's not the right fucking name.
Swear there used to be a guy around that was called that.
Probably, but I got the right letter correct for the beginning, at least. Besides, at least the locales I get to are a bit more colourful than K on any road. Presumably.
To put it simply, Cybertron wasn't always bleak.
Aaron. Place I went to last was, well, some clockwork sky realm of sorts. Cold as fuck.
Probably still a little bit better than current state of Cybertron.
I mean, even if I couldn't really determine if there was ultimately a ground all the way below the clouds.
Well, there's one definitive way to check, called jumping.
Even with the anti-grav pack, I'm pretty sure I'd just start falling for good.
Get a really big parachute then.
Or somewhere to at least toss up to latch onto, I guess, so I could at least use the PDA to warp back. Don't need take energy to simply bring that out, do it?
Hardly any.
Thankfully. Who knows? All things considered, I probably could have also just been asking Gadgetron to see if they could find a way. But I have a habit of trying to do things local. Local solutions for extraterrestrial problems.
Sometimes the better option for people is never the smart one. In your case, it's definitely not the smart option.
Plus, hey, even if that mace of mine don't strike Energon, there's still a good chunk of silver and other materials in there I can make use of.
Well, stuff you can make use of, not exactly much purpose for us, right now anyway.
Right now, but Silas has become interested now that he's gotten a handle of Energon anyway. You might see about checking in with you or Eclipse to see about, how you work for the sake of in case you do need repairs. If he used to be a combat sergeant.
Repairs are only really necessary if a large chunk of us is gone.
Oh, fair. Imagine you're the type that, small amount of Energon will be able to help patch yourselves up all nice like with just a bit of metal.
Basically.
More or less. Fair on then. Alright. I'll move to check in with Silas in that case. See about an Energon injector.
Outside, come let me know.
See about an Energon injector, and, well, I'll let you know if he's wanting interest to come and visit and see about your biology and such. After all, with the synthetic life forms around here, I'm practically a doctor with the amount of knowledge I know of it. So it's a good he'll probably want to pass knowledge to me to see about me repairing your Eclipse.
Well, if that's the case, it's gotta be less. It's gotta be less synthetic doctor work and more like
a mix.
Oh, actually,
I guess in terms of my understanding. Because
might as well just call yourself a regular doctor if you're gonna work on cybertronians.
Usually the usual different thought process regarding organic or synthetic is usually flesh versus metals.
Most of us, it's based on whether it bleeds or not.
I suppose that's a fair argue, but a good chunk of synthetics also have a habit of bleeding. But technicality, even these do. Even
It
these
also
bleed.
ultimately depends on what they're actually bleeding. Is it something natural to them, or is it something that came from the ground of the planet they're on?
That's a notable difference. Some usually function off of oil or other alchemical processes.
Funny enough,
Hydraulic
Energon came
fluid.
directly from the core of our planet.
Hydraulic fluid even usually is used to power some really old synthetics. The type that just looked like if you just took a lad, made him bald and white as fucking snow. Like his face was patchwork, more or less. Tried strangling me boss at one point.
Sounds about right for your usual ventures.
To be fair, the less about me work boss in Zephyra, the fucking better. I swear to God, I've shaken him like a fucking soda can twice for his bollocks. Going on and on about like Vex, the substance that helps power the Vex. That I now learned is more of an assimilative substance. Not a good idea to try and use to help fuel your fucking car.
That sounds like an act.
He's a dafty.
You know what? I don't usually agree with you that often, but I very much agree in this case.
He's a fucking dafty, but he's somehow got a business, and I'm working for him technically.
Miracle the entire place hasn't gone up in smoke.
He's caused a couple explosions himself, even if he didn't intend. Apparently, Leap Foundry plating nowadays, if you take a blowtorch to it, it'll detonate. But that has given me the thought process regarding the prototype I've got going on with these.
You never did show me your secrets, huh?
Prototype for a super heat sink of sorts, more or less generating the heat, get a bit of gas, blast it into a flamethrower. Cools me down and heats the enemy up in equal measure.
Heats them up and lights them ablaze.
Exactly. And with that being the case, maybe that could be a very definite edge against that fucking foundry.
Well, you said if a blowtorch is taken to a plane, it'll explode. So you're gonna get pretty close if it's just a big old flame.
It'd have to be a bit more direct. Plus, if I've realised how it does work, I could potentially grab one, blast it ablaze, then chuck it like a grenade.
That's if it doesn't explode right away.
Aye, that I'd have to run tests on. And Taranto will probably give me a bollocking on the factor of what the fuck do you mean you want to light one of the fucking plates on fire? Are you stupid? And then I give me reasoning and he'd be like, shite, that's actually a decent plan. Probably. Either that or he still tries to give me bollocks for it and then I tell him about the Vex milk bollocks that he was calling that substance. Yeah, I don't know either. You call it that, someone's gonna try drinking the fucking thing. And again, him and being smart around fucking alchemy and liquids ain't exactly the best of mixes. Like oil and water, it feels like sometimes. But I will.
In any case.
Any case. I'll need to see about heading over to Silas. I'll probably be back within the day, really.
Within the day, so a good few hours. Got it.
Well, at the very least, before next sunrise, any road.
Again, good few hours.
Aye. No worries. Sturdy fucking crates, ain't they? Probably able to handle you chucking them like fucking softballs. If they're able to handle a fucking 800-pound laggy standing on it.
There's a difference between having, you know, a good chunk of pressure just on it constantly, and then a bunch of it just being experienced as soon as it collides with something.
I mean, true. I mean, like this. See?
Congratulations, you got more wood to work with.
Oh, well. Yeah, if nothing else, I could at least send this over to Hoodie. A lot of ventures I've got to work with, and with any luck, you'll be able to roam around again.
Maybe find a way off this goddamn rock.
Honestly, at this point, I'm starting to feel like the wastes are safer than the cities.
Wouldn't be surprising.
Especially considering I haven't even seen a police force even there anyway. It's mainly security forces and corpos.
Those are the way of things.
The only amount of boy in blue type of insignia I've ever spotted has been in a long abandoned sheriff box. I've seen enough disuse that I'm wondering whether or not it could just be retooled into an impromptu fucking confessional booth or some shit.
Could be retooled into one of many things.
True. A lot of things you could use in a box that's like about yay high over to here. I guess it's more a solitary holding cell, I guess, until more boys in blue arrive to take him away. I don't fucking know. I'm not a bloody cop. But you only dress like one.
Dressed like an Earth one, anyway.
True. But rest well if nothing else. At least now you got something to look forward to.
True that.
Eclipse will be pleased as well. Back and fucking forth. But I wonder if Silence will just give me an exasperated sigh for having to do more work regarding this shite. Maybe I'll ask that Jeff fellow again.